It takes almost a whole year and a small army just to run an election.
In Blaine, we have 24 precincts. That's up 2 from 2012 when they did the redistricting as part of the census, so they had to add a couple more precincts. In each precinct, we have, depending on the number of registered voters, anywhere from 8 to 12 election judges.
The state sets the bare minimum for the number of election judges in a precinct at 3, but that's only in a precinct that has less than 500 registered voters. However, the state also outlines 7 different judge roles that need to be filled at each polling place. The busier the polling place is, the better it is to have a full roster of judges. Blaine has almost as many as they'd like.
So right now, I believe I have about 260 judges that have been hired and trained.
Each of those judges has to take a minimum of 2 hours of training every 2 years. Getting enough judges to fill all of Minnesota's 4,106 precincts is only a part of what happens prior to an election. There's also ballot prep and equipment testing.
It's dependent on the number of precincts. Cities that have 1 or 2 precincts, we all do the same work as opposed to a city that has 24 like Blaine does. We just have to do it that many more times. So all of the testing procedures that we have to do times 24.
Some of their recent work included setting up for absentee voting.
Absentee voting started September 29th, so we've already been getting quite a bit of traffic here on site.
Going back even further on the calendar, ballot prep for the general election started the morning after the primary.
We probably started getting materials together right after the primary election. We needed to wait until the primary election and canvass those results. Canvass is just kind of the council certifying that the results of the election in order to prep the ballots for the general election. So whoever was successful in the race in the primary needed to be placed on, obviously, the ballot for the general election. So that started right away.
And before that was the primary, which is a month earlier than it was just a few years ago.
Especially when the primary race got moved to August, it made the process a lot longer. So you typically start by securing some of your polling places and kind of getting folks on board and sending interest letters for judges. You really start in February.
But even before February, the planning begins.
What we'll do is kind of start to get all of our materials ready, kind of start our plan based on maybe what some of the interest is in, if it's going to be a mayoral race that year. Typically that always brings a little bit more interest as long as other council members. So we kind of start any of our prep work early because it just exponentially gets busier as it gets closer to each election.
So the 5 to 10 minutes you spent voting was able to happen because of nearly a year of work behind the scenes. For North Metro TV News, Danica Peterson reporting.